must be something that it features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa. There's something about the way that you understand. We don't need a rush and we don't need to make no plan. You say, pace yourself, slow it down. And I don't want to waste my days with no one else. I love how it feels, killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights, trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive, infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. There's something about the way you talk with your hand. The way that you say my name when nobody's there. No. You say it's alright, take your space if you need a break. And if I need to disconnect, that's okay. This ain't no race. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights, trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive, infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights, trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive, infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. Killing time.
She my pineapple, yeah. She's sour, she's so sweet. Yeah. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's all I'm after. My little girl got a sour side, but you know I'm a sucker for some sweetness. Every weekend pulls you in, she knows your weakness. I tell her she's my princess, she just wants to be queen. I call her pineapple and she says, what do you mean? She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, mood. I guess she's all I'm after. Yeah, take a slice and look inside. You see the sweet, the nice, the harmless vice, the cold as ice. I need my pineapple consistently. I eat religiously, I need my sweetness instantly. And every time that she's around, she's sweet, I'm finding this, she's sour. Just waiting, I wait, my little flower. And every time that she's around, she's sweet, I'm finding this, she's sour. Just waiting, I wait, my little flower. She might be everything I need, but she's so sour, yeah. But she's so sour. If only she was just as sweet, but she's too sour, yeah. Yeah, she's too sour. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's all I'm after. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's all I'm after.
Did you notice I've been lost, staying up to the break of dawn, hoping that you'll show a little warmth, but you know I feel the coldest when I'm wrapped around your finger. Did you notice that you put me through the wrinkle when you said that you needed solace that I can't offer you? I found a light in all this, something to get me through. Now every day is a challenge, top down, blowing smoke out. It's not good for my balance. It sounds great.
Hello there, hello there, hello there to the Twitches and the YouTubes, and if you're streaming this on some other thing, I don't know how the internet works. You people are all thieves. Anyway, it's later than usual. 10 p.m. here in the UK, 5 p.m. in on the east coast of Americana land, and which means, of course, it's 10 a.m. in the great nation of Fiji. All hail Fiji. My, have we got a lot of nonsense for you tonight? Yes, we have. And I say we, because it's me and Rory Katz. Where's Rory Katz? He's on the bed. He's lying on the bed. Anyway, it's 11 p.m. in Norway land. Indeed, it is 11 p.m. in Central European time, which includes the great nation of Norway. Home, of course, of Peter Sweden. Although maybe not for very long, because apparently he's going to try and dip out of doing national service, because he's such a nationalist. What a shitbag. Anyway. Yeah, so I'll yeah, we've got a lot of nonsense to come up tonight. 1 second. Yes, we've got QAnon / MAGA bullshit, which is always fun. Always fun. Yes, it is also 11 in Spain. I need to stop reading the chat. You people just distract me with your beauty. I'm like a moth to your flame. The fuck am I talking about? Anyway, so we've got QAnon / Trump fuckery. We've got TERF nonsense. Because, I mean, look, we're going to have our disagreements with Joe Biden on this channel. Of course we are. The man's a capitalist. It's going to happen. But he's done some good stuff. Notably, pissing TERFs off. And I noticed before we got going, there were some TERFs in the chat. Please, feel free. Everybody. If you're one of my great moderation team, please feel free to use your banning with reckless abandon. If any TERF pops up, just get rid of them. They're not fucking welcome here. I'm not making this show for bigoted scum like that. It's not happening. Get rid of them. Any fascist of any variety, whether they be of the more transphobic nature or the more racist nature or whatever, I don't really care. They're not to be debated. They're not to be taken seriously. They're to be yeeted, deleted, and completed. Anyway, so we've got that nonsense coming up, and the 1776 report. I was going to do this on Tuesday, didn't happen. Didn't feel bothering with it yesterday because it was the inauguration thing. Me and Christy just wanted to have a kind of general chat and do bookmarks. So I'm going to do that today. I've got my notes. I'm going to be going through that. It's already been destroyed by Biden. It's already gotten rid of it. Again, he's yeeted fash nonsense. Good stuff. We'll get into that. As well, because it's some seriously primo racist bullshit, okay? Proper. Yes. So, so stick with us for that. And again, me and Rory Katz, he'll probably pop up on screen at some point when he wakes up. If he wakes up, he's asleep all the time. He's a fucking cat. That's what they do. Anyway. Yes. If you wanted to support the stream, if you wanted to support my work here on the YouTubes and the Twitches, there's lots of links below. Go and subscribe to the Clips channel. Which has clips of these streams put up there. Last one I did was a couple of days ago, which was the Danzy Sings thing. Is good. You can go and check that out. You can financially support via either Patreon, which is linked below, PayPal if you want to do a one-time donation, or the Super Chat thing, because YouTube are seemingly determined to destroy my channel. Well, not destroy, just hamper its growth. It's very frustrating. But if you wanted to help financially, because they've demonetized me and all the rest of it, streamlabs.com/KFLogan1875. It's linked below. You can get your thing will pop up on screen and I will read it out. Unless it's some weird turfy shit. Like TERFs, if you want to throw money at me, fine, but I won't be reading your turfy shit out. Obviously. You can fuck off. So, there's that sort of thing. As well as, all my social medias are below as well. So, you can go and check that out. At your leisure, or leisure, if you pronounce it incorrectly. Which you're entitled to do. You shouldn't, but you're entitled to do that. Oh yeah, and bits. Yeah, if you want to go and subscribe to me on Twitch, or follow me on Twitch and give me bits, that's also another way you can financially contribute, if you so wanted to do. Which some of you seem to want to do. I don't understand it. I don't get it at all. I don't understand at all why people would. But for some reason they do. And that's fascinating and delicious. But even so. I didn't even put the fucking screen thing up. God damn it, Kev. I'm really good at this, aren't I? There we go. That's what we wanted. Right. So, onto the Q nonsense. Or the Q nonsense, I suppose, would work. That would work as a thing, wouldn't it? Yes. This we've talked a lot about the Q people, right? For those who don't know, there's the Q stuff gets briefly explained in this article, and I wanted to just focus firstly on this article because it's often these internet nonsense things happen kind of in a sort of internet-based vacuum where you think to yourself, do they penetrate into the real world, right? Do they actually have any kind of sway in the real world? And it's things like this that give me a certain amount of heart that they don't, this kind of Q bullshit, right? By and large, certainly here in Britain. Because this is the BBC's website, right? And it was on the very front page. It's been on the front page. Is that on the screen for you all? This is literally the home page. This is bbc.co.uk, right? One of the largest news gathering organisations in the world and the largest in Britain. And you can see there, Biden's inauguration leaves QAnon believers in disarray. That's an article that's been on the very top line of the front page of the BBC website. So, like, normies are going to fucking see this. Like, proper normie shit people, right, are going to see this article. And I assure you they're going to be freaked out by it. Because I bring to you this kind of Q bullshit every day, right? I bring you fucking weird people going on about lizards running the world in human suits, and fucking these idiots going about like paedophile, satanic people drinking children's brain blood and stuff, like just crazy out there nonsense that's obviously false, right? Just as a blanket statement over all of the shit I'm going to read to you from these fucking idiots, they're always wrong, obviously, although some of them are beginning to realise that they're wrong and become not so wrong anymore, which is good, but it's, you know, we'll see their progress over the next 4 years, perhaps. Anyway, so Joe Biden inaugurated yesterday, so Donald Trump is not the president of America, lol, and yeah, they've been losing their shit, because their whole thing was trust the plan. The plan being that Donald Trump would out the satanic pedophile cabal that run the world, and remain president and king of America forever or something, right? And that didn't happen because that's fucking nonsense, obviously. Any normal, vaguely rational human being could see that that's a total load of old shit. Not that there aren't bad people in positions of power that shouldn't be there. Not that there aren't paedophiles or child fucking weirdo molester people or whatever that aren't punished or whatever, because I'm sure that's true too. But the idea that the entirety of the world's leading people or whatever are all weird pedophile, Illuminati, alien, lizard people, nonsense. So when that didn't come to fruition, they're in something of a bind, psychologically, philosophically. 1 second, everyone. I need to wet the whistle. And like a lot of cults, and it is a cult. Don't be under any illusion that it's anything other than that. It's a cult. It doesn't necessarily have a leader, although Q, whoever that person / those people are, kind of are a bit like a leader, but not really. So they're sort of weird amalgam of a million different conspiracies, right? Ranging from the more kind of new agey people who just believe, like, oh, there's corruption in the government, all the way through to the real hardcore people who think that Alex Jones is like a cuck or whatever because he doesn't believe totally in all of the lizard stuff or whatever, you know. And it's like a web of madness. You can believe any bits of it you like, mix and match, change as appropriate. It's quite malleable, which is why it's been relatively successful, because it doesn't necessarily define itself exactly. You can basically make Q fit any political position. You can be a leftist Q person, although that's slightly strange in the sense that it's mostly a MAGA thing, but you can be a kind of vaguely, at least culturally leftist type person and believe in some elements of Q, or you can be an out-and-out fascist and believe in Q, and everything in between. It's a very, very malleable, fungible piece of dog shit. Anyway, so Biden gets inaugurated. And, yeah, they've gone mental. We'll get into some of the more specifics in a bit. But I just wanted to read you this, because normies will read this, and trust me, they'll be freaked out. I bring you this kind of shit every day, so people who regularly watch my stuff, they won't be surprised by, you know, any of this. But the idea that the phrase elite satanic paedophiles appears in an article at the top of the BBC's page is fucking mad. Anyway, the article reads: followers of the baseless QAnon conspiracy theory are divided after Joe Biden's inauguration confounded their predictions that Donald Trump would remain president in order to punish his enemies in the, quote, deep state, unquote. Many reacted with shock and despair as Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. 45th different person. Don't even get me started. Fuck you, Grover Cleveland. I just want to throw up, said one in a popular chat on the Telegram messaging app. I'm so sick of the disinformation and false hope. Others insisted the plan had not failed, finding new theories to latch onto. Again, the hardcore cultists will continue with the thing, but I think many people are beginning to peel away from the Q mindset because it's obviously not worked. Now, many of them will still believe there's a satanic cabal, blah, 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 but that the plan didn't work, and so they might become vaguely sensible human beings. Like, I don't really care if they believe that there's an elite satanic paedophile cult running the world, as long as they're just not going, like, shooting up pizza places. That they can believe whatever the fuck they like. Just don't be weird about it. That's all. I mean, I prefer if they believe like true things as well. That's cool, but I'm less interested in trying to change people's weird beliefs as I am about, them not killing people or voting for fascists, maybe. Anyway, for years, let's be honest, QAnon followers had been promoting 20th of January as a day of reckoning. Oh, that is for weeks, technically, that bit. But they've been around for years. When prominent Democrats and other elite satanic pedophiles, or paedophiles, whatever, would be arrested and executed on the orders of President Trump. Normies are going to read that and freak out. Normies are going to read that and think, oh my god, these QAnon people are crazy. And so they should. And it goes through all the nonsense. But we've been through this. Like I say, this is a normie article. None of this will be news to anyone who watches my shit regularly. This is all, regular stuff. So this is like Facebook posts, I think. I will continue speaking truth. This is from QAnon people, obviously. I will continue speaking truth. I have not given up. I shall have faith. I still know that God wins. Well, in that case, Joe Biden's God, because he just fucking won. Dickheads. We gave it our all. Now we need to keep our chins up and go back to our lives as best we are able. We have a new president sworn in, and our responsibility as citizens to respect the Constitution regardless of whether or not we agree with the specifics or details regarding officials who are sworn in. As we enter into the next administration, please remember all the friends and happy memories we made together over the past few years. That's the thing. The real taking down of a satanic paedophile cult was the friends we made along the way. Don't forget it, yo. The fucking cope on these people. Oh my god. I'll have more to say in a few days regarding a new project I'm fleshing out. God bless. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, that was Ron Watkins as well, who is thought possibly to be one of the two people running Q. Who was the guy, was it him or his son? I can't remember which one anyway. Started the 8chan website and all that shit anyway. Where a lot of this Q nonsense arose. Anyway, so that's, just amazing, right? But it was genuinely interesting to follow. Yeah, he probably is Q, yeah. Although I think there have actually been several people at different times who have at least imitated being Q, and that itself takes on a life. Because it doesn't really matter who Q is, it's what Q posts are believed by Q supporters. That's the real thing, okay? Like, it could be me, for instance. If I could imitate Q and post on one of these things and that gets taken up, then the fact that I've done that means that I become Q. That's the thing, right? It's nonsense. And I'm not saying I'm definitely not Q, although obviously I'm not Q. But anyway, yeah, it's LARPy bullshit that starts on 4chan and 8chan and becomes like a meme. And it's thought that Ron Watkins is the kind of main progenitor of the Q mythos, lore, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so yesterday was Inauguration Day. Joe Biden's gotten in, and to see the Q meltdown as the day went on, because they were sure, right, that why would they have 25,000, 30,000 National Guard troops there if it wasn't to arrest all the satanic pedophiles and install Trump? And then as the day progresses and that doesn't happen, they start fucking losing it, some of these people. Genuinely, I would not be surprised if some of these motherfuckers start doing like either suicides, murder-suicides, or mass shootings in public places. Because some of these people are fucking crazy. Now, for TOS reasons, I can't really show you the worst of the worst. Because some of it is unbelievably graphic in its description of murder. Okay? So I'm not going to risk that on terms of service. But I think you can imagine the kind of places these evil fucking pricks go to. Right? So this is from the website. Hang on, I need to resize this so it's on the screen. Don't adjust. Anyway. This is from the website, thegreatawakening.win. I've taken you before to the Donald.win, which is more just Donald Trump related, and this is the greatawakening.win. The Great Awakening being what Q people describe, that their sort of version of the red pill, if you will. Their version of coming to realise the truth that they think they have, right? So accepting the Q nonsense as true is their Great Awakening, right? So their one's called the greatawakening.win. And the day starts off with them, quite chipper, because many of them genuinely believe the Q thing is going to happen. The plan is going to come to fruition, even though they've constantly been changing the goalposts. Because I assure you, before the general election on November 3rd of 2020, every one of these motherfuckers would have said the plan is Donald Trump gets re-elected. Every fucking one of them. When Donald Trump loses, they obviously push this shit about elector fraud. Doesn't matter, right? It's absolute nonsense. Again, as I've said about my blanket statement, okay? These people are full of shit. But they then moved the goalpost to, when the states haven't confirmed yet. And then, so the deep state are going to be defeated when that happened, but they're going to confirm for Trump. That didn't happen. They then said, it's the electors are selected. That comes and goes. They then move the goalposts even further to the Electoral College itself. Or no, in between that, it was the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's definitely going to side with Trump. It didn't. 9-0. 9-0. 3 of those motherfuckers were appointed by Trump. And even they went, no, you haven't got a case. This is nothing. Get the fuck out of my way, you idiots. Right? They had all this stuff about the Kraken and Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell and blah, 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 blah. Fucking the ghost of Hugo Chavez fingering the Lady Liberty or something, right? You had all of that. They kept moving the goalposts back and back and back. Then it was going to be the Electoral College confirmation on the 6th of January, wasn't it? Yeah, when they had the insurrection attempt, which failed because apparently it was Antifa, even though it was good that they were trying to do it because they were patriots, but it was also definitely Antifa. Cognitive dissonance for the win, right? They then pushed you back to the 20th, the inauguration. Trump being a great showman, he was definitely going to do it, right? He was definitely on the grandest stage of all, the inauguration, big public event, they were going to arrest all the people when they were there together. That was it, right? You had the Clintons, George Bush was going to be there, Lady Gaga, who apparently is a part of this or something. She's not just a singer, she's leading an elite pedophile Satanist group, naturally. All of those, people, Beyonce, all these fuckers were going to be there. Actually, was Beyonce there? Whatever. Anyway, all these people were going to be there, and so it was a great opportunity to collect the core of the cabal, as they refer to these people. They refer to the satanic pedophiles. Anyway, so they were going to do that, definitely. And then when that doesn't happen, they go crazy. But before that doesn't happen, some of them are very confident, some of them are very nervous. And now, understandably to a degree, because even if you think this is going to happen and you think it must happen, the repercussions from such an event would be enormous. So a lot of them were very worried. But a lot of them were very bullish. Anyway, they also went fucking crazy with it. At a couple of points, the website went down because there was too much traffic going into it. Because, understandably, most major kind of server companies don't want to touch them with a shitty stick. So they can't handle a huge amount of traffic going there. Anyway, so yeah, Hunter Biden, he of the massive cock, and he does have an enormous cock, says, seeing Hunter Biden was there because, his dad was being inaugurated as the president of the United States. So, yeah. Dude, fuck George W. Bush. Yeah, I mean, George W. Bush was evil. I'm not defending. I'm just saying, lots of people who they think are satanic pedophiles were there. That was the point. The only reason I mentioned him was because of that. Anyway. So, yeah. Hunter Biden was there to see his dad get inaugurated. And these people think he's like a satanic pedophile thing because the Trump campaign tried and failed miserably to try and do a whole pedophile international conspiracy sting with Hunter Biden's laptop. Do you remember that? The Hunter Biden's laptop thing that never got anywhere because it was obviously nonsense. Yeah, he was there. And they were losing their shit about it, obviously. Did they expect him not to be there? I don't know. Seeing Hunter Biden makes me sick. And then also, be aware, lots of shills trying to make things depressing here. Resist to even reply to them. Biden's handler. They just showed Hunter Biden on the stage. How is this sick fuck not arrested? We have pictures of him naked with little girls in lingerie. Fucking hell. No, you don't. You have pictures of him with, naked pictures of him with naked ladies. Ladies, though, okay? Grown adults. Not children. Their voices are cracking, okay? Oh yeah, this one losing their shit. Dude, where's my post? Please don't worry if your post gets removed today. The duck win is slammed. Eyes on the prize, everyone. We will win. The narrator voice comes in. They did not win. All empty words of honour. What? All patriots. Oh yeah, this FBI need to investigate people like this. Okay. All caps. All patriots activate. Go go go. Stop the illegal steal of an inauguration. And then also cringe. Okay. Yeah, less dangerous, but there we go. This person doesn't know how to take a proper photograph. It's sideways. Okay. All right, Q. Brace me. Talking of cringe. Someone fucking arrest someone. Look, that's so unspecific. That could be anything. Someone who isn't a police officer arrest a child. Fuck it. Just someone arrest someone. These people, man. Oh god. Anyway, did I get? I heard noises earlier. Sorry, hang on, 1 second. Oh, John Krembos with bits says, just to confuse you, here's a bit. Oh, and hashtag Q was wrong. Yes, Q was wrong. Very true. 1 second, everybody. Just check my stream's still fucking going. Where are we? Where are we? Hello, everyone. On Twitch as well. Hello there. Yes. Anyway. So, yeah, Lady Gaga apparently is like a person they don't like as well, for some reason. Okay. Everything else aside, really, Lady Gaga, how low class. Okay. Someone said her dress had meaning. What's the gold bird? It's a gold bird. It's just a gold bird. Lady Gaga. She also wore a meat dress. Like, I don't think you can read too much in terms of significance into her dress style. She just does, like, she dresses sort of provocatively or in a kind of big, lavish way. She had a big bird on her shoulder. Not the big bird from Sesame Street. That would be fucking mental. Although, I would have respected the boldness of the choice, but, you know. Lady Gaga, they're really trying to rub it in our faces. I hope she's arrested with the rest of them. What the fuck has Lady Gaga done to get arrested? Like, even if this were true, right? Even if all of this Q fucking drivel was correct, what the fuck has Lady Gaga done to be arrested? It's very strange. Their choice of enemies is so peculiar. They're obsessed with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks has to be involved in it. Bill Gates has to be involved in it. Like, Keanu Reeves is another one, apparently. Whatever. Barf, you have got to be kidding me. Lady Gaga is an abomination. Now, I didn't like paparazzi either, but come on. Yeah, Lady Gaga, really, they're throwing it in everyone's faces now. They brought the Satanists out in full today. Oh, these people are just the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, they're giving shit, but even so. There you go, that was one of the times when the site went down. Too much traffic. Guys and gals, I'm losing my ever-loving mind now. Is this really happening? Was this part of the plan? God help us. You can see they're starting to realise that things are going very badly for them when, you know, none of the plan comes to fruition. And then this is this the one? Hang on. Oh no, there's one further on. But anyway, biblical. Where in the Bible does the devil win? Well, Howard, Prof. Biden's pick to lead DOJ Civil Rights Division says black people are superior to whites. That's true. That is true. White people are evil. Hashtag white genocide in Minecraft. Anyway, Professor Christine Clark. This is almost certainly wrong. Is this true? Can someone link me to the debunk on this? Because that's obviously, I don't think that's true. Joe Biden's picked to become assistant something that black people have superior physical and mental abilities. True. Look like everything is a lie. Here's the list of all the times lies were given and predictions didn't happen. Q was full of shit who never gave any proof either. Was all a sham. And then I don't know if the next one is trolling or if this is the new direction they're going to go in terms of their weird cope. Biden is Q. Jesus Christ. Oh, I hope they do. I hope they say he was Q. I mean, he wouldn't explain anything, but it would be funny. I thought the inauguration was happening at noon. What the hell is happening? Please tell me this was part of the plan. Oh, so many desperate pieces grasping at the quopium. Oh. Regroup, rebuild, restart, refresh, refine. So basically make up a new set of shit to try and make the Q thing fit. Guys, Q wasn't a psyop and Paul and Lynn and Rudy weren't LARPs. You don't need to use and all the time. Commas will do. Punctuation is your friend. Weren't LARPs. I have irrefutable proof down below. I've got irrefutable proof down below too, if you know what I'm saying. It's over and nothing makes sense. Absolutely nothing! Inject this into me! You've got to understand people, right? I've spent, years, but certainly the last few months, deep diving on all of these fucking weird-ass conspiracies, right? To see them finally start to give up on it is just, it's like, you know when you go into a sauna, maybe some people haven't, but for those who have, okay, and you just feel like the kind of dirt and stress of it all just oozing out of you. It's like that, but on like a spiritual level or something, where it's just like, it feels like humanity's just transcending something shit into something not so shit. And that's good. None of what anyone said or sung sounded like typical liberal shit at all. What did you expect them to do? Like they were going to go up there and sing fucking WAP? No, they were going to sing the national anthem and God Save America and like just basically suck off Uncle Sam. That's what happens at these events, Jesus. Just me, or did they rush the hell out of the swearing and Sleepy Joe? It isn't supposed to be until 11:59. Right. Some of these idiots are going to claim in years that they did it too early, so it doesn't count. That's not how that works. It can happen at any point. Really? It just means that officially he still doesn't take over until noon on that day. But if they decided to do the signing the thing the day before, it wouldn't matter. Not really. It just means he wouldn't be officially president until midday the next day. Like, it's these people are fucking infuriating garbage. We need to unite in prayer. Chill, everyone. This is going to happen. This has to happen to seal the crime. Stop acting like we know when things will happen. Can be tomorrow or next week. These goalposts have moved so often now, I'm not sure they're even in our universe. They're just everywhere. I had hope, but it's over. It's over! The site went down again. This person claiming to be Q. Now, I'm not sure if this is true, but it sort of doesn't matter if it is true, Q or not. Because anyone can claim to be Q, and this person has certainly posted as Q and it's been believed before, so I don't know. But anyway, they said, every post I have ever made on this website is satire. I do not condone or support any of the opinions expressed on this website. Any post associated with this account is satire and should be treated as such. Now, if this is to try and cover their ass, this isn't going to work. In a court of law, you're still responsible. You can't say now after the fact it's satire. At no point has anyone associated with this account ever condoned, encouraged, or committed or abated acts of violence or threats of violence against any person, regardless of racial, ethnic, religious, political, or cultural background. That isn't true. That's a lie. This sounds like your lawyer wrote this for you. In case of any investigation by any federal entity or similar, I do not have any involvement with this group. Yes, you do. You can't say you don't when you're literally posting in it. Or with the people in it. I do not support any actions by any members of this group. I have removed all of the posts and comments I have made on this account. And then someone just types back with the F slur. So, you know, that's a thing. That's a thing. I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because that's not going to cover you in a court of law. You have repeatedly fomented violence and civil war and unrest in America, and I hope you go to prison for it. Whether you actually are the real Q or not, I don't care. And this is now definitely after the inauguration happens. They're losing their fucking shit in many respects. And one of these comments, and I'll highlight it as we go, is, I think, the greatest sentence ever written. In terms of internet nonsense, anyway. This person says, still cool as a cucumber here. This you might have seen this in it's not really an anagram. Initialism. WWG1, WGA. That's where we go one, we go all, which is like their slogan, right? It says, enjoy the show. 30,000 troops, most advanced operation, months in planning. For this? Because nothing happened. Then you have Plink. Don't know what that means. Can the military step in now? Is lovely. And then there's this, right? This is the sentence I was referring to. This might be the single dumbest thing I've ever seen. Now, this could be a child who posted this. Oh, this website, by the way, is thegreatawakening.win, which is like the Q version of the Donald.win, which I've taken you all to on a journey several times. This is the Q version of that. It's hosted by the same like internet server thing, whatever. Anyway, yes. It might be a child who's written this, and that would make a certain amount of sense because you look to authority figures when you're a child. You look to authority figures, your parents, teachers, maybe a police officer, a firefighter, whatever. Someone who you think is in authority in some way to explain things that you don't understand, because they'll know what it is, and they'll be able to explain a thing. And it's not until you grow up that you realise actually there are some people who can't explain things because it's not a thing or they're not privy to that information. So if this is a child who wrote this sentence, that makes a lot more sense. But I suspect it isn't. I suspect this is an adult that wrote this. I'll give you the dumbest thing ever. Someone posted on thegreatawakening.win, mods, please explain why Biden isn't arrested yet. What the fuck? These people are fucking mental. Come on, these people are fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible. They want the moderators of the Great Awakening Darwin to explain to them why the incoming president hasn't been arrested yet. Fucking Christ. Oh. Imagine the mindset of a person who writes that and posts it on the fucking site. Oh, lordy. These people are going to be the death of me, man. I can't take... This level of opioid abuse could knock out horses, man. Fuck. Oh. Oh. You there? And this next one, I don't know if it's sarcasm, which would make sense, or whether they're literally just asking the question straight-facedly. I don't know. It posts. So what date do we wait for now? So that could be sarcasm for so many dates. Now which one are you going to pluck out of your arse, Q? Or it could be literally, I need another date. This date has passed. I need more cope. Please give me the copium. I'm addicted to the copium. Fucking hell, man. Don't get high on copium, people. It doesn't lead to good places. Not moving goalposts. Rip America. Did you see Alex Jones, by the way? Alex Jones, man. He literally declared the death of the Republic. Yeah. Because apparently he gets to do that. Okay. Good to see. Biden is not my president. No, he is. Assuming this person posting is American, that he is. He just is. Looking like a storm. Someone's not reading the room there. And then just, guys. These people. These fucking people. Oh my god. Absolutely amazing. So this whole time they had been rubbing it in our faces. The plan and the storm has always been directed at you. We can't stop what's coming. All of us have been brought out into the open. Fate sealed, lol. Fuck it. I do hope the FBI are watching some of these people. Was the target of the Q PSYOP the president and the MAGA movement? A honeypot to identify those who know the truth about the evil cabal and Pizzagate. Oh yeah, they're still doing Pizzagate. That's still a thing they believe. That obviously disproven, debunked nonsense. Yeah, they're still doing that. Does another Night of the Long Knives loom in our future? Personally, my family was gang-stalked for over a year and I'm beginning to feel nervous. You think the government are gang-stalking your random ass family? Fuck me sideways. Now, there's lots of that, right? I'll go to the very top and I'll retweet that thread, and it's a fucking long-ass thread, okay? And you can peruse at your pleasure. Or even at your leisure. Or pleasure. Both. Your pleasure. Anyway. Yes, this next one is amazing, right? It leads on from the last one in the sense that it's fucking crazy. This person is obviously not entirely well in some respects. But I want to just give this little heads up, okay? Some of you may have seen this clip already. This person is a QAnon Trump supporting dipshit, okay? But they're clearly in a very mentally, emotionally fragile position. And I want, for the people who are in my audience who are just really nice, pleasant, kind people, certainly kinder than me. And I'm not saying if you respond the way I did, you're not kind, but you'll have seen if you're sort of kind and caring and sort of motherly to the point where you feel sorry for someone just because they're crying or something like that. I totally get that. And any criticism I make of people defending this woman or whatever is not aimed at you. I'm going to be laughing hysterically. Trust me, I've watched this several times already, and it's not decreased in humour. The mirth for me has not decreased in the slightest over the course of watching this video several times. This woman is fucking insane. And it's very funny to me because this motherfucker is a fascist. If you support Donald Trump at this point, you're a fucking fascist. I don't care. And that's not to say everyone who voted for him, because they were voting for the Republican. I get the tens of millions just vote because it's the Republican or the Democrat. It could be a fucking hamster with a red rosette on it or whatever, and they'd vote for it. It doesn't matter. Even so, I want you all to embrace this nonsense. And yes, this will be in the next cringe compilation. Trust me.
President Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag.
What fucking flag did she say? What flag? I don't know. What flag? What flag did she say? Mods, please explain why Logan hasn't been arrested yet. I can't explain that either. I don't know. But what flag did she see the Joe Biden with that wasn't the American flag? I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. It's mad. Anyway.
This is America. This is our land. Please, President Trump. Please.
Fucking Christ almighty. Oh, fucking Christ. These people, man. Oh. Professor resubscribed on Twitch, a 6-month streak. Thank you very much. Much true. Says, hi, Kevin, mods, and chat. Oh, thank you, yes. If you want to go and check me out on Twitch, you can do so again via the links below. Yes.
Please, please, I hope you have a plan. God, please save us. Save us from the devil, please. Yo, I'm about to have a panic attack.
Hang on. Okay, to the person in the chat, go back to making real videos, Kev. No. No, I won't. If you don't like this kind of content, that's fine. You don't have to be here. That's absolutely fine.
This is our country. Our country.
See, this is what I mean. This is our country. She means white people. Let's not beat around the bush here. This is why I hold no truck with anyone. And I've seen this online. I've seen this online from some people saying, you shouldn't take the piss out of people like this. We shouldn't laugh at them. You know, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that noise. Okay? Fuck that noise. I am never going to not take the piss out of people like this, because know this. If these people got their way, right, thousands would be killed. Millions would be killed, probably. The night the night of the rope, the day of the rope, whatever, right? That would take place. There would be piles of corpses of black people, Asian people, whatever. And indeed of white people. I'm a trade unionist. I'm a socialist, okay? They came for the socialists first. Remember the Pastor Neuberger poem? Technically they came for the communists first, but it often gets sort of watered down to socialist, whatever, doesn't matter. That's who they came for first, okay? So it's a matter of self-defense as far as I'm concerned to ensure that these people are fucking miserable. I'm going to enjoy every second of these people's fucking pain and despair. I'm going to savour every moment, every second of their anguish. Okay? That's never going to change for me. If these people are upset at the way the world is going, I know we're generally making positive differences. I know that we're generally, as a species, moving in some sort of positive direction. Okay? If these fuckers are ever happy with the state of affairs of the world, then humanity is fucked. Millions will be dead. So, no, I don't feel sorry for this person. This person has decided to align themselves with fascist forces. Now, the old phrase, the only good fascist is a dead fascist, I of course disavow, naturally. But what I will say is that if these people are upset, good. I don't ever want them being happy. Ever.
This is awful. God, please save us, please. President Trump.
So that's a thing. That's a thing that happens. This is what happens when you OD on the copium. This. Yeah. It's fucking insane. But also quite funny. This one from 4chan, naturally. Now, this starts off quite funny and goes to a very dark place. The person says, they actually did it. They got away with it. They stole the election and got away with it. This is the end of Western civilization. Lol. No, it's not so funny though, right? It says, this is the end of Western civilization. If you have children, smother them in their sleep, because what awaits them is beyond your wildest dreams of hell. That escalated pretty fucking quickly, didn't it? This person needs to be investigated. I don't know if they have children or have access to other people's children. If so, they should be taken away from them, because clearly this person is incredibly, phenomenally unwell. And that's not a unique posting on things like 4chan at all. Hang on. Why have I uploaded the same... hang on a second. Oh, yeah, okay. For some reason, because I've obviously got like a Word document with the links that I'm going to be showing on stream. It's how I prepare for the show. And for some reason, I've put the same link in twice, repetitively. It's very annoying. Anyway, this one's from the Young Turks, right? They interviewed 2 people. This is on election day itself, about what they think about voter fraud and the fact that Joe Biden something illegitimate, whatever.
So we want to just make sure that the elections are not being stolen from we the people. So the same voter machines that they use in Venezuela, they use over here so they can steal the elections. That's why Hugo Chavez said congratulations to Joe Biden even before he won the election, because he...
Yes. Hugo Chavez said congratulations to Joe Biden before he was announced as president. Now, some people will accuse you of straw manning people like Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood when you say the ghost of Chavez did a thing. Trust me, as a person who has said that, I know full well they will say it's a straw man. This silly motherfucker just literally said Hugo Chavez, who died 7 fucking years ago, congratulated Joe Biden. Absolute madness.
He knew that it was already rigged.
Right. Okay, so he had congratulated him before the results were cast, Chavez, and then what do you think?
I think the Dominion voting came from Canada, but the people that are actually the owners, the people that control it, come from Venezuela, which hates our country. So if we...
Venezuela hates our country. Shut the fuck up. Look, Venezuela doesn't like American interference in its own elections, and clearly America doesn't like other countries interfering in its elections. So it's hardly surprising. Thank you to Rugged Island for following me on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitch as well, for free. Go and do so. It's linked below. You can go and check me out there. It's a thing.
We have.
Oh, so that's why Sidney Powell was saying that Hugo Chavez rigged the election.
Yes.
So Hugo Chavez, and he owns the Dominion. Hugo Chavez.
He's the owner
of Dominion voting system.
He's the owner. Hugo Chavez, again, the dead man, is the owner of Dominion services or Dominion voting systems.
But it was sold to Canada.
So wait, I'll repeat that.
It was sold to Canada. So Canada.
So it was just repeated from the beginning. So Hugo Chavez
is the original maker. This comes from Venezuela, and
That's not true.
I know this because my mom used to live in Venezuela.
You know that because your mum lives in Venezuela. Right, but that doesn't matter, does it? I live in Britain, but I couldn't tell you what Boris Johnson had for dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
When Venezuela used to be a rich country. Okay. They used the same machines to fool the people and to steal the election from the rightful owner of the rightful people that actually won the election.
So Hugo Chavez, who was ludicrously popular in Venezuela, and frankly, if his ghost ran for election, he would probably win. He was enormously popular. He stole the election. These people are insane.
So it was sold to Canada, and Canada sold it to the U.S.
Tell me about the voter fraud that went on.
Well, one of the things that I can tell you is that we saw it live on every news station. We saw every news station show and broadcast multiple people being arrested for voter fraud. So I don't understand how they can say that voter fraud claims are baseless.
Why are they They make up their own shit, these people, don't they? Who in the living fuck was arrested on live TV? What are you talking about? I've only seen 3 voter fraud cases so far, and they're all Republicans.
When we all saw it live on TV, every news, mainstream media showed people being arrested for voter fraud.
They were arrested on TV.
Yes, or they were reported by the news.
Oh, okay, they were reported by Newsmax and OAN.
Some of them weren't actually caught in the moment, but the news still reported so-and-so was arrested for voter fraud. So-and-so was doing this and has now been arrested for voter fraud.
What can you say about...
Curling is communism. Yeah, I agree. They all start off with the same number of stones. And you're not allowed to trade your stones for more stones. It's an anti-competitive market. It's disgusting. Evil communism. You know Joe Biden and Joe Stalin, they invented curling together.
About the Dominion voting machines?
It's unbelievable that in spite of all of the evidence,
What fucking evidence?
Time and time again that it was presented, that they just continued to shut it down, ignore it, make it go away, cancel it, said it's not about anything. And it made America wake up and realize that we probably haven't had an honest election in decades.
So Donald Trump didn't get in properly, so we should void his presidency then. Clearly, because it wasn't a fair election. Or is it only unfair when a Democrat wins? That's what I'm beginning to realise with these motherfuckers, is that they're literally just saying, if a Democrat wins, it was illegitimate. And actually, they're going beyond that and saying Democratic voters are illegitimate. Republican ones are fine, but Democrats can fuck off.
Yeah, and so what do you say to the people? So the Democrats are saying, well, if we were rigging the election, why would we lose House seats? Why would we barely maintain the Senate? Why would we vote McConnell and Lindsey Graham back in and then, elect someone that's sort of center-right? Why not Bernie? How do you answer that?
Because they have a strategy as well. I mean, they don't want to just, number one, they don't want to make it look like it's, it would be like too unbelievable, right?
Why would it? Why the fuck would it be too unbelievable? The polls were all saying that, they were going to pick up seats in both the House and the Senate. Why would it be unbelievable at all? Surely it's more unbelievable that it happened this way than if they'd just done that. But I mean, it wasn't a fraud anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but,
Right? If they just allowed it to go completely in their favor throughout the years. I mean, that's obviously what they did in the end when they just did their last Hail Mary with Biden. But,
What?
I don't think that they used Dominion in every single state election. I think only some states used Dominion and other states had other avenues for voting.
So why is Sidney Powell claiming that the voter fraud took place in all 50 states? Was it the ghost of other former socialist leaders that were doing the other states? Was it the ghost of Fidel Castro maybe in Idaho, perhaps?
Or ways to tally it?
Ho Chi Minh's ghost was doing the Carolinas, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, those people are full of shit. Just absolutely full of shit. Anyway. We've got some more bits and bobs for this. Never in my life would I have thought I would be sitting here crying over a president. But here, this is from the Donald.win. But here I am at the age of 40, crying over my president. The last 2 months are pouring, with how are you, out of me. And someone did the meme. Oh. Inject it into me. I'm just making noises now. This isn't broadcasting, Kev. This is nonsense. God almighty. Oh, this is quite nice as well. Yes, someone interviewing this woman. This is as the inauguration was taking place.
Why are you here today at the inauguration?
I believe it by supernatural God that Donald J. Trump is the next president of the United States, that he won rightfully so, landslide, and wait and see the goodness of God will come upon it.
Okay, I think it just happened.
That's okay.
But he just got sworn in. You hear it. You hear he just got sworn in.
He will not take the power.
But now he is president now. He just got sworn in.
Wait and see. Wait and see.
No, it just literally just happened. We heard the crowd
That
cheer.
doesn't mean he is the president. That cannot happen.
Joe Biden is
It does mean that.
president right now. You can admit that.
No, they stole it. They're proclaiming it, but he's not the president. He's not God's president.
But he's the president of the United States.
No.
Why are you here?
He's the president of the United States. No. Oh, wowza. Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. That's. I mean, this isn't even copium at this point. That's just denial. That's just delusion. I mean, copium is kind of delusion, but fuck, that's really bad. That's not a healthy situation. Your brain's going to that place. Good lord. What we got here? Oh yeah, finally someone, I think, beginning to realise and wake up from the Q cult. The cult, if you will.
Who else is feeling just a little silly? Just a little. Like, went too far down the rabbit hole. Now I'm back out again. And if nothing happens on the 20th, how many of you are going to feel stupid as hell? I can't do it anymore. And who the fuck is Q? Who is it? Who is this person?
Good question.
None of it has come true. And I was just thinking, like, what if this person knows that none of this stuff is true and they're just messing with people?
Yeah. That's literally what it is. You got taken in. And don't get me wrong, I understand that it must be quite difficult to openly admit that you've been taken in. Not just that, but you've been taken in to enormous lies. You've been fooled and baffled by enormous lies from fucking 4chan dickheads. From some, like, 15-year-old prick in his bedroom just making any old shit up about Tom Hanks and Bill Gates injecting you with the devil, the mark of the devil or whatever, right? It must be pretty difficult to do that. But as an adult, you have to. And it would appear that at least this woman is.
Like, getting inside their heads. I thought something would happen today in Trump's speech. Nothing. Who else is feeling just a little...
Yeah, what happened in Trump's speech? Nothing. Good. Anyway, although they were obsessed because apparently he had 17 flags behind him, which A, is ridiculous. Please, America, stop fucking the flags. And B, is the Q people are obsessed with the number 17 because Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. So every time 17 as a number comes up at all, they always take it as it's a thing. It's not. It's just that sometimes there are 17 of a thing. Sometimes there are 17 flags. Sometimes there are 17 cars. Sometimes there are 17 people in a room. You know, it's not always like a sign from Q. In fact, it's never a real sign from anything. It's just a number of things. It's just a number of things. There could have been 16. There could have been 18. There could have been 24. There could have been 1. Who knows? Anyway. Oh, also, yeah, this popped up on my stream, on my timeline, just before I came on. So I haven't had a massive amount of time to analyse it, but I thought it was an interesting thing, which would not surprise me if it were actually true. And now this is according to a Biden person, so again, take it with a pinch of salt. But, oh, hang on, go away. The one particular thing was down here, right? They were going on about, he signed many executive orders, Biden, since being inaugurated, most of which are pretty damn fucking good, including this 100 million vaccinations in his first 100 days, which may or may not be enough, but a lot of the media were saying wasn't enough, or wasn't possible. So if he actually manages it, that would be awesome. But whatever, at least they're trying to do something, fuck's sake. Yeah, and what's the doctor's name again? Osterholm. I don't know what's his first name. Dr. Michael Osterholm, who's part of the Biden's COVID-19 team, says this. There is no plan, or was no plan, by the Trump administration in terms of distribution, how to actually talk to people about these vaccines and educate people about why they're so important to your health, he says. The issue, however, is what can we do going forward? And yesterday the White House issued a national strategy for COVID-19 response and pandemic preparedness, which has 7 major goals, which is the plan that we've all been looking for the last year. So literally, Trump didn't have a plan. It's not even that his plan was bad. Look, incompetence would be one thing. He didn't have a plan. That to me goes beyond it just being like a matter of incompetence, right? It's not just incompetence anymore. That seems to me like it's murderous intent. I don't know if that falls under any legal, like whether there are crimes technically that have occurred because of that, but it fucking should be. It really should be. 400,000 Americans are dead. Probably the same number again are going to die between now and when this finally gets under control. And Trump and his acolytes are to blame for that. They have the blood of those people on their fucking hands forever. Trump should see the inside of a jail cell for it and his many other crimes. I suspect, however, because he's rich, he won't, but we'll see. Moving on. So we move on from Q nonsense to some good stuff. Well, I mean, Q nonsense is funny, but it's not good funny, if that makes sense. It's tragic. Anyway. Gender rights, or gender identity and stuff like that, was a major part of Trump's bullshit, wasn't it? His attack on LGBT rights, his attack specifically on trans people, in order to placate the culture warrior internet shit stains that exist, and indeed the Christian fundamentalists who exist in America as well. Donald Trump made it his mission to make the lives of those people, the LGBT people and general marginalised people, pretty difficult. And Joe Biden, one of Joe Biden's pledges was that he was going to undo a lot of that change. And that has begun. And I'm going to take you through that in just a second. Especially because it annoyed the TERFs. And, you know, that's good, because fuck TERFs. Yes. So, there are lots of executive orders that he signed. You've probably heard about the kind of highlight one, or the headline ones, like getting rid of the Muslim ban, stopping the building of Trump's useless border wall, that kind of stuff, right? The vaccination stuff to do with COVID, the 100-day mask thing that he signed. But there are a few others, 3 other bits and pieces that he signed that I'm going to take you through for the rest of the show. First of all is this one, which is the one that has so annoyed the TERFs. So just on its own, even if it achieves literally nothing but that, it's worthwhile. Okay? Whew. Executive order on preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as following. Section 1. Policy. Every person should be treated with respect, dignity, and should be able to live without fear, no matter who they are or who they love. So just taking that opening sentence, right? Every person should be treated with respect, dignity, and should be able to live without fear, no matter who they are or who they love. You would think that TERFs, who call themselves feminists, would be totally on board with that. That's a fantastic sentence. Nope, they're enraged by it all, because they're garbage, aren't they? Children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. Adults should be able to earn a living, or learn a living, whatevs, earn a living, and pursue a vocation knowing that they will not be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of who they go home to, or because how they dress does not conform to sex-based stereotypes. People should be able to access healthcare and secure a roof over their heads without being subjected to sex discrimination. All persons should receive equal treatment under the law, no matter their gender identity or sexual orientation. That, I think we can all agree, is a fucking badass paragraph. Anyone who disagrees with this paragraph is trash. I'm just putting it out there now. Is fucking trash. I will brook no quarter on that. I will give absolutely no ground on that. That is, I believe, as the kids are saying these days, based. I don't like the idea. I don't like the phrase based because of its right-wing origins, but you get the idea. That's pretty damn poggerific, if you will. It then goes through some legal shit. I don't know what Bostock versus Clayton County is. I don't really care either. We get down to discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation manifests differently in different individuals, and it often overlaps with other forms of prohibited discrimination, including discrimination on the basis of race or disability. All very true. Very good in terms of annoying dipshits as well, because it's intersectional and they are scared of anything like that. They're terrified. Yay. For example, transgender black Americans face unconscionably high levels of workplace discrimination, homelessness, violence, including fatal violence. Very true. Good that they're pointing that out. It is my policy, is the policy of my administration to prevent and combat discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation, and to fully enforce Title 7, 7, Roman numerals are a difficult one, and other laws that prohibit discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. It is also the policy of my administration to address overlapping forms of discrimination. Based. I'm going to stop saying based, ironically, because it's just good. It's unbelievably good. This is food for my soul. And then there's this stuff about taking practicable action. We'll wait and see how this actually transfers into public policy, right? This is just a vaguely sort of worded statement in some respects, albeit that it's still like a firm commitment, it would appear, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, general provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed or impair otherwise affect the authority granted by the law and executive department or agency or thereof. Hang on, what was it? This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in the equity of any party against the United States departments, blah, 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 blah. Joe Biden, President of the United States of motherfucking America. So, yeah. Gender identity, so trans people basically, are going to hopefully be getting something of a helping hand in terms of combating the horrific discrimination they faced under the Trump administration. At the very least, those will be rolled back, and that's fucking badass, okay? I'm very, very pleased with that. Like I said at the start, there are going to be things that the Biden administration are going to do that are they're going to be things that the Biden administration does that I don't like. Of course there are. He's a capitalist, I'm a socialist. He's going to be, I mean, generally the economic policy is going to be not ideal, but where he does awesome stuff like this, I think it's definitely worth pointing out and celebrating. But of course, the TERFs, right? The TERFs. Where do we even begin with these piles of dog shit? They started up the hashtag Biden erased women thing. Yeah, it's so dumb. Now, as with a lot of these things, because the TERFs are relatively small, they're often a loud minority, but a pretty small minority. They got overtaken on this hashtag, and that's good to see. It's good to see that there's a general pushback against them. But they started this Biden erased women thing because anything that's pro-trans is bad in their eyes, it would appear. Even if it's like stopping discrimination and shit. Anyway. So this hashtag is now mostly like, it's like 75% people taking the piss out of TERFs, like kicking the shit out of transphobia, which is funny. Like, Biden erased women, fuck TERFs. If your feminism excludes trans women and women of colour, your feminism is bullshit. You know, all of that sort of stuff. That's awesome. Look at that. There's a fucking trans Pikachu and shit. Awesome. So there's all of that. I can't believe he'd do this. It's literally him erasing women. So there's all of that, right? Oh, Sydney Watson, the fash bag. Okay, what she had to say. This is what happens when you pretend men and women are the same. There's literally no one saying that. There is not a single person in the world who is saying that, Sydney, you fucking liar. This is what happens when you ignore biology. Biological men don't belong in women's sport. Any person who suggests otherwise doesn't live in reality. I'm just going to respond. There you go. Good stuff. Anyway, so that happened, and that was fun to kind of look through. Again, if you want to go and check it out, you can do. It's very funny. Me vibing knowing that TERFs are upset that I got basic human rights back. Yeah, okay, I'll give a retweet on that one, I think. Anyway, so that happened. And but there was one particular thing that happened where's the screenshot? There we go, right. I have to change over to the screen. Oh, no, I don't. What am I talking about? Sorry, everyone. Where are we? Nope. No. What? Oh, for some reason, it won't go onto the proper screen. 1 second. Dashboard. No, it won't do it. Okay, so I'll just go onto the screen. There we go. Fuck it. Right. So, is that looking okay? I need to move that over to the left slightly, don't I? Okay. So there was this. This took place, okay? There we go. This was on Twitter. I saw that, and it's just so dumb. The TERFs are nothing if not repetitive shitbags. I think we can all agree. This per Helen Stanaland. No, don't go contacting this per. Just leave them to wallow in their hatred. Says, so at POTUS, which is the presidential account, the official one, which was Trump's, and he tried to get on it and was banned, but the account was just frozen, right? Because then when Biden took over, Biden's now in control of that, okay? Or his team are. I presume Biden's too old to fucking actually tweet himself, but one of his team are. So Helen here, a TERF piece of garbage, obviously, says, do you believe that male-bodied people with a penis... Male-bodied people with a penis? Well, they've got one penis between them. That seems bad. Like, do you have to book in advance to get your hour with the penis? To use it for, I don't know, urination or sex or whatever? I don't know. I think you mean male-bodied people who have penises or something like that. But also, pretty disrespectful, male-bodied people. That's not great, especially when they say female-bodied people as well. Female-bodied people. It's pretty disrespectful, anyway. Do you believe that male-bodied people with a penis between them should have the right to undress in a communal changing room with teenage girls? Again, trying to imply that trans people are like pedophiles, because they seem to essentially be going through the greatest hits of homophobes of years past. Now, that's what I call... Phobia 29 or whatever, right? Rory Cat's once out. That's very annoying. 1 second. Hang on. Dickhead. You're going to earn your corn, boy. Where are we? There we go. Rory Cats. Say hello to everyone, Rory Cats. Well, he did a slow blink. 1 second, everybody. There we go. There he is, the boy. The boy. So, yeah, this idiot going to the same question over and over and over again. And then, imagine this. This is the President of the United States, and who's only just taken over. He's probably quite busy, I imagine. Answer me, you coward! Now, if you're going to caps lock, caps rage at him, go, it's answer me, comma, you coward, exclamation point. Surely. Punctuation is your friend. And then carries on asking the same question over and over again. But I love that. Answer me, you coward! Like Joe Biden's read it and gone, well, I don't have an answer for this TERF talking point that's really easy to debunk and is just a pile of hateful shit. I can't possibly answer. No, he doesn't know who the fuck you are. He probably doesn't run the account anyway. Like, get the fuck over yourself. Stupid bastard. God almighty. So that's the level of TERF discourse that's taking place. Biden has done an obviously good thing in scrapping the previous transphobic, homophobic, just generally queerphobic shittery of the Trump campaign, of the Trump presidency, and the TERFs are losing their minds because, in case you didn't know, no, I am going to be punctuation exclusionary, okay? The only fascism I accept is grammar fascism. Just saying, okay? Anyway, Biden's done a fantastic thing here. Whether it translates into absolutely brilliant concrete change, we'll have to wait and see. It's been a day. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. And the TERFs have lost their shit because TERFs have been consistently aligning themselves with fascism. Constantly. And they're doing so here. They've basically become MAGA people. Not knowing, of course, that if fascism came to be, women's rights would be destroyed. But they don't care. They honestly don't care. They're mainly interested in just shitting on trans people. And for that, fuck you. Anyway. Talking of fascist nonsense, we move on now to the 1776 project. Now, I was going to do this on Tuesday. Then I was going to do it on, and I didn't feel like doing it. Dylan Burns' interview came up, so I was like, okay, I'll do that instead. Then Wednesday, he was doing shit about, we were doing the inauguration stuff. And then by the time the inauguration had happened and all the rest of it, it had been taken down. This is the official page of, as you can see here, the President's Advisory 1776 Commission final report, right? So that's the actual page. It got taken down, naturally. So it's now the 404 report. Anyway, so, that got taken down. Because Joe Biden, again, not necessarily one of his, one of the kind of headline executive orders from yesterday, but one that I think is worth a cheeky little check anyway. It's the executive order on advancing racial equality and support for underserved communities through federal government. Now, there's a lot of good stuff in this, right? About trying to make sure that black people and other ethnic minorities like Native, First Nations peoples, Indigenous peoples, and all the rest of it. But it's quite long, as you can see here, right? The only one that really matters in terms of the 1776 report is we go down to Section 10, revocation, which means to revoke, to take away a thing that previously existed. So basically, the bits they're doing to to get rid of Trump's bullshit, right? So, he was revoking the combating race and sex stereotyping thing that Trump did, combating this bit and that bit and the other bit, and then this is the one, right? Executive Order 13958 on November the 2nd, 2020, establishing the President's Advisory 1776 Commission is hereby revoked. So on the first day, they got rid of it. Biden got rid of it in the stroke of a pen. Awesome. Again, it's not like the biggest thing in the world. It's not a thing that his presidency will be remembered for, but it's a good thing nonetheless, because the 1776 report is such a pile of racist shit. Now, as you can see, it was taken down, right? And so I put the call out to my peeps. Saying, can you get me an archived copy? And that was yesterday. And by the end of that, episode, I'd had about 5 people, I think it was, get back in contact and say, yeah, there's an archive of it. So thank you to all of those people, genuinely. I love the fact that I have eyes and ears everywhere. By the way, thank you to XXJokerRXX for following me on Twitch. You can do so again via the link below. And please, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube, click on the subscribe button on the YouTube. I would be much obliged. Anyway, so this is it, the 1776 report, even written in scrawly 1776 writing, which was the joke I made, by the way, on the 42069 project. Nice. Anyway, so yeah, I spent the whole 5 minutes on Microsoft Paint doing that. Anyway, so this is the whole thing, right? It's the President's Advisory 1776 Commission, January 2021. Now, the 1776 Commission was introduced as a way of trying to combat the 1619 Project, which was like a New York Times thing where historians and interested sort of activist people, whatever, were going to be writing articles and papers and general kind of dissertation type bits and bobs about like racism in American history and the history of slave owning and how that's impacted modern American culture and stuff, right? As a way of trying to find a more accurate and deeper understanding of what America is and where it came from, right? Yes, the Witchfinder General. The Witchfinder of the Colony of Massachusetts Bay. I can't really do the accent, but there you go. Anywho, yeah, and if you haven't already subscribed to Atunche Films, you should do. They're much better than me. Anyway. Yeah, so they introduced this 1776 Commission. It was conservative education. Basically, this is PragerU given federal, prestige and indeed public money to come up with this pile of absolute dog shit. Now, this was released notedly on Martin Luther King Day, which was Monday, I think. Hang on. I could have checked before we started. I could have written a note. MLK Day. Monday the 18th of January. Yes, it was indeed. So, it was released on Monday. 2 days before the end, because they wanted to rush a thing out so that it did a thing. Otherwise, it would have been a total waste of time. Anyway, and they released it on Martin Luther King Day specifically, because that element of it is so unbelievably on brand. In fact, all of this is completely on brand for Trump, right? It's a complete rejection of reality. It's racist to its very core. It's fundamentally attempting to reshape a thing that conservatives think is want to be deluded about. There's a want to be uninformed or misinformed specifically, and releasing it on MLK Day is so perfect for the Trumpian brand because it completely reaffirms their total 100% commitment to racism as their core value. They like racism above all other things. That's the thing you must remember. The only thing Donald Trump probably likes more than racism is enriching himself. So if he could do so, like literally, he would love being able to own slaves, for instance, because you get to be racist and earn money out of it. He'd love it. That would be his sweet spot, so to speak. Anyway, now there's so much wrong with this, and look, I'll just take you through. There are 45 pages, right? Just look at this absolute pile of shit, right? I'm not going to take you through all of it. Oh, hang on a minute. What have I done there? What have I done there? What? That doesn't even make sense. Hang on a second, everyone. I've totally bollocks this up. 1 second. Hang on a minute. Right, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what I clicked there, but it disappeared. That's very odd. No. What the fuck's sake? It was going so well, and then I decided to try and do a thing, and it wasn't very good. Dashboard. No, that's not good. There we go. Fuck's sake. I hate the word. I hate the word. Right, so, the basic point is, look, there's lots of it, right? Lots and lots of shit going on there. By the way, there's only one, these are all the people that were involved in it. There's only one historian, and that was a historian of the classics, so ancient Greece and ancient Rome, basically. So fuck all to do with America. This is written by political hacks. Complete and utter political hacks. Not going to take you through it all, because like I say, there's lots and lots and lots of it, and you don't need that shit. You don't need that shit. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So it gives you an introduction. Hang on, oh, there we go. And it goes through like some basic shit about 1776 and all this stuff, right? And there's a lot of this. This is, like I say, the conservative wet dream version of American history. Total bollocks, right? It says, today, however, Americans are deeply divided about the meaning of our country, its history, and how it should be governed. This division is severe enough to call to mind the disagreements between the colonists and King George, and those between the Confederates and Union forces in the Civil War. They amount to a dispute over not only the history of the country, but also its purpose and future direction. Now, the reason I highlight that is because clearly you can hear Rory Cut scratching at the door. That's very annoying. 1 second. What? Oh, I think he wants to go out. I'll put you on the holding thing for a second. Hang on. Fuck's sake. 1 second, everybody. Enjoy the beard. There we go. Apologies, everyone. I thought I'd left the back door, the cat flap unlocked, but it would appear not. Anyway, so where were we? Side beard, indeed. What? Why am I reading the chat? Anyway. Yes, so, hang on 1 second, everybody. Let me just check my stream's okay. Hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Several people have sent you new links. Where? Oh, on Twitter. Oh, hang on. I'll have a look then. 1 second. Who sent me new links? What? Ain't no one sent me new links. What are you talking about? Oh, some people. Anyway, so this. The reason I highlight this, right? It's not just because, I mean, there's so much wrong with all of the history here. It would take forever to go through it. In the same way that it's, you know, it takes a millionth of a second to like to tell like the lie, but then it takes a longer hours and hours and hours to debunk it all completely. So I won't take you through it all. But this bit I thought was particularly key, because this is like some weird ass version of history which isn't real, right? And the fact that they compare today to the the differences between the Confederate Army and the Union forces about the future direction of the country is a kind of hint, it seems to me, at the lost cause myth. It's a hint at the quote-unquote states' rights argument. The idea that the difference between the Confederate and Union forces in the Civil War had anything to do with their understanding of the future direction of the country isn't really true, in the sense that it wasn't about states' rights as such, other than the extent to which it was about states' rights to own human beings. That's what the South was about. Now, the North was certainly about trying to keep the Union together. That is about the future direction of the country or whatever. But ultimately, that war was certainly always understood by the African American denizens of the States as a war about something much higher than just states' rights or union or constitution or anything like that. It was about human freedom, right? And eventually the white people of America came to realise that too, although it took years of horrific bloodshed for them to get to that point. And so for the fact that the Trump people are now dredging up this fucking tired, hackneyed bullshit, albeit in a reasonably nudge, wink, wink fashion. They're not just coming out and directly saying it, but they're definitely strongly hinting at that. And they do this throughout the piece, right? They do a number of things where they'll connect things in a kind of dog whistly fashion rather than just outright saying it, because they're cowards. But the fact that they're doing this and they're dredging up this horrible, shitty old argument is a fucking enormous disgrace, an embarrassment to America. It really is. This is the fact that America sank so low as to elect a man who would pump out this shit. America sank to a very low place. Very low. Anyway. I've then got page 2. Was it definite? There we go. Just a small historical curio for you now. It goes on to the meaning of the Declaration, so that's the Declaration of Independence or whatever. It says United States says is like a lot of other nations, but it has some unique aspects to it, which is true in a broad sense, although they, I think, get the degrees and ways wrong. But they say, quote, in two decisive respects, the United States of America is unique. First, it has a definite birthday, July the 4th, 1776. Now, it's a matter of a certain amount of historical discourse as to whether that is true or not. So it's definitely not definite birthday, okay? Generally, obviously, Independence Day, the celebration takes place on July the 4th, because that is when the Declaration of Independence was signed, or was it when it was written? Anyway, when it was signed, whatever. It's taken generally to be the day. But that's in popular kind of mythos rather than in actuality, because there are various points at which you could say America really came into being. The Declaration of Independence, much like the Emancipation Proclamation, had huge impacts, but they didn't happen immediately, if that makes sense. Just because you declare yourself independent does not make you really de facto independent. Just because you declare that slaves should be freed doesn't actually free a single slave, right? That's not how that works. So is that really America's birthday, or is that when the idea of America has its birthday? There are various points at which you could say that America is truly actually an independent nation, right? Would it be the signing of the Articles of Confederation, which didn't happen in 1776 but happened in 1777? Would seem like a more appropriate thing, because at least you're then formalising what is ultimately a kind of just a general idea of an independent nation in those lands. I think another example would be the signing and ratification of the Treaty of Paris, which happens in 1783, which officially brings to an end the American Revolutionary War, or the American Independence War, whatever you want to call it. Because at that point, you literally go from having it violently contested on the fields of North America to it being an actual fact. America is then an independent nation. But is America as an independent nation really worth anything until the signing of the Constitution, which doesn't happen until 1789? So you could even argue it's at that point that America becomes a real independent nation. And the fact that these things are even discussable in a genuine historical sense means that you don't have a definite birthday. July the 4th has been chosen for public celebration, and that's fine. That's absolutely wonderful. But it doesn't mean that that's definitely the birthday. And to understand America in that way, I think, shows how little respect they have for the actual American history and the deep, interesting, complex, wonderful thing that was the birth of the United States. Tragic in many respects. Black people were still kept enslaved. I'm not going to deny that for a second. In fact, I'm going to go on to the ways in which this piece of shit kind of downplays that in just a second. But it's undoubtedly, from a historical point of view, an enormously fascinating thing. And to just boil it down to July 4, 1776 is to remove so much of the beauty and complexity of it and boil it down to a really simple thing, which is precisely why they do it. Because they want America to be, rah, 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 America is fantastic. That's their whole shtick. And it's fucking embarrassing. Yes. You then get, on page 3, you get, where are we? John Jay. There he is, right. John Jay, who was an American founding father. Not one of the more well-known ones, but he was involved in all of that. He gets quoted several times, right? Because he's one of the less horrific ones. Like, there are fewer pieces of overt racism from him, so they're kind of trying to dial it back a little bit with the racist bullshit, in essence. And hang on a second. Yeah, so they quote John Jay. Now, this is more a personal bugbear than anything else, but it's a point I've made on my channel many times. The humping of the Founding Fathers needs to fucking stop. The Founding Fathers were, as we've seen from our recent delves into the racial views of certain individuals who were Founding Fathers, people like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and such, these were not perfect people. No such perfect person could possibly exist. A person by their very nature is imperfect, of course. But these were not brilliantly, fantastically perfect kind of dudes. These were enormously flawed. They were enormously biased, self-interested people. They wrote a fantastic document, no doubt about it. In fact, several fantastic documents. But the Declaration of Independence itself, and the Constitution and things like that, have all undergone different understandings as time has gone on. Especially with things like the Constitution. It's got like 30-ish amendments to it, which goes to show you that things have changed so enormously since the 1770s, 1780s. Understandably, it's fucking 250 years now. That to try and boil it down to, well, John Jay said a thing, or Thomas Jefferson said a thing, or George Washington said a thing, I don't fucking care if they said a thing. Justify it on its own basis. Don't tell me some fucking slave-owning prick 250 years ago said a thing, therefore we should just accept it. Tell me, in modern-day parlance, based on modern-day concrete facts that we have around us, why your argument works, or why we should adopt your way of doing things. Don't tell me some fucking long-dead white slave-owning prick said a thing. I don't fucking care. And your constant humping of the Founding Fathers in this way does enormous disservice to your own position, which any position can be argued in some semblance of sense. Most play. I mean, fucking QAnon can't or whatever. But, you know, in terms of, like, the Second Amendment or something, you can make arguments in favour of gun rights. You can make arguments in favour of lots of different types of rights. But don't tell me it's because of some long-dead prick. I don't care what they said. I don't really care, particularly if it was someone who lived a little bit closer as well. When people say, oh, well, MLK said a thing. Okay, that's nice, but that doesn't prove that it's right now, if that makes sense. That doesn't prove that that's a thing that we should do now, because he, again, wasn't perfect. We should take into account what these people wrote. They're enormously important historical figures. What they say clearly has an impact on our modern world, and that's fine. We should understand that. We're all products of thousands of years of human society and human governance and all the rest of it. That's fine. But don't pretend that just because John Jay said a thing in Federalist 2 that should be the end of the discussion, or that's in of itself good enough, because it fucking isn't. And scene. There's then lots and lots of shit. They intersperse it with quotes from Lincoln. They also intersperse it with quotes from MLK, which is really disrespectful considering they were doing this on MLK Day, specifically pushing a racist agenda. Yeah. Look there, this MLK quote. Fucking hell. Anyway. Where are we? We want to go to page 10. Oh, Frederick Douglass. Who, is he still alive? Because Donald Trump definitely seemed to think that this motherfucker was still alive. I'm not sure. But he did have an awesome hair. Oh, hang on. That's that. Dip. Fuck's sake. I'm so shit at this. Anyway, where are we? Page 10. Now we get into some of the more spicy elements of it. There's lots of shit history in it. Like I say, I'm not going to go through that much of it because I just, this document's so shit. It makes my balls hurt. Anyway, so we then get to challenges to America's principles. Look, they set out America's principles, and it's the same dick suckery you get from all these people. America is the shining city on a hill. It's the beacon to the world. It's the last best hope of Earth. It's, you know, the hope of humanity, so on and so forth. You know the drill. I know the drill. We all know it's fucking pap. Whatever. And so there goes challenges to America's democracy. Blah blah blah. Right. Slavery. Yeah. This document must go in there. Yeah. Slavery. The most common charge levelled against the founders, and hence against our country itself, is that they were hypocrites who didn't believe in their stated principles, and therefore the country they built rests on a lie. This charge is untrue, and has done enormous damage, especially in recent years, with a devastating effect on our civic unity and social fabric. A lot to unpack there. I don't know how you can say that charge is untrue if we ignore the fact that if we just take the founders themselves, they were hypocrites. They wrote all men were created equal and then went back to their plantations. Not all of them, of course, but a vast majority of them went back to plantations and things, and they owned human beings as property. Therefore, clearly not actually believing all people were human. And many of them may have believed that black people weren't human. That was certainly a scientific theory that was around at the time. But I also imagine that that was a lot of cope as well. That they knew that these people were people. They were able to read and write and speak and all the rest of it in a way that no other animal can. So clearly they were human. I think they knew they were human. They were just trying to come up with some semblance of a scientific progressive way of justifying what they knew to be barbarism. So they were hypocrites. The fact that you would try and deny that is a nonsense, right? Now, we then go into, and therefore the country is built, or the country they built rests on a lie. That's a slightly different matter. Because, of course, a country can't be hypocritical in a sense, because it's a country. It doesn't really have agency in that same way, or opinions in that same way, or actions in that same way. It's an amalgam of different things. Anyway, was the country they built rests on a lie? There's a certain truth to that, of course. Like I said, the hypocrisy of saying all men are created equal and yet owning men, and men as in mankind, men, women, children. I suppose we should throw in non-binary, although when you're a slave, you're probably less prone to bothering about non-binary stuff, maybe. I don't know, but there we go. Kev is a working class Brummie. I am a working class Brummie, yeah. Was someone saying I wasn't? I've been accused of being like upper class or some shit because I've got an education. Because that's quite classist. Anyway, so yeah, to a degree, it is built on a lie, but also that, to a sense, doesn't matter. Like, this is the right wing neuroses at play. It either has to be completely perfect or it's shit. Which is obviously nonsense. We know that from the world around us. Nothing's perfect, right? The fact that America was built on a lie doesn't mean that it can't be a brilliant thing now. Just because it's done fuckery in the past doesn't mean it can stop doing fuckery and become a better place. Yes, America was built on a hypocrisy. Yes, America was built on slavery. Yes, it's even after it had purged itself of that sin, and it is a sin. I'm not a religious man, but it's a sin against people. It's a sin against humanity. Even after it had gotten rid of that particular element of its sin, it still did like Jim Crow and murdering, black heroes like the aforementioned MLK. And it still suppresses the black people's votes to this very day. That original lie upon which it was built still has an impact today because you keep enforcing the same level of white supremacist bullshit. That's the point. Just because it was originally built on a lie doesn't mean it can't be a brilliant thing now. You, conservatives, are the reason that it's not that brilliant now. Yeah. Also, in terms of what's been an enormous damage to civic unity and pride and all the rest of it, I would suggest the enormous amounts of economic disparity of wealth. Because you can't really believe in an America where Jeff Bezos can own everything, and yet you have tens of millions of people on the verge of homelessness and starvation, and think to yourself, this country's super awesome, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I would say that's done a lot more damage to the fabric of civic unity in America than some people analysing history. I don't think many people are that bothered about what academia is saying about historical matters. Billy Bob and his fucking friends in the Proud Boys have no idea what academia is saying, or what those in academia are saying about George Washington. They've been told by PragerU stuff. Doesn't really matter though. I don't care. They clearly have no real understanding of these things. But anyway. Where are we? They were saying you're rich on Soros money, Kev. Well, that is true. Still working class, but I am definitely rich on Soros money. So, I'm not going to deny it. I am going to supply it. That doesn't make sense, but it did rhyme. Anyway. We then have some major fuckery, and you can tell this is political hack work, right? Because they say, what are the challenges to America's principles? So the enemies of America, right? So slavery. Now, I agree, although they've downplayed it enormously. And they even say, they go on about this bullshit about America setting the foundation for emancipation. That's a reach, champ. But, yeah, so there's all of that. Slavery. You then scroll down. Progressivism is an enemy of America. Fascism and communism. Racism and identity politics. Right? So, identity politics and progressivism are the same as racism, communism, and fascism. I don't know about you, but this doesn't seem like a hugely scholarly work. This seems like a political hack job by conservative shitbags. And you know why it seems that way? Because that's what it is. That's precisely what this is. It's a joke. It's a fucking farce. So yeah, progressivism. In the decades that followed the Civil War, in response to the Industrial Revolution and the expansion of the urban society, many American elites elites. You might as well just put it in brackets. Elites. Adopted a series of ideas to address the changes called progressivism. Although not all of one piece and not without its practical merits, the political thought of progressivism held that the times had moved far beyond the founding era and that contemporary society was too complex any longer to be governed by principles formulated in the 18th century. To use a contemporary analogy, progressives believed that America's original software, the founding documents, were no longer capable of operating America's vastly more complex hardware. The advanced industrial society that had emerged since the founding. No one's saying that that's a thing, right? No one's saying that you can't build on what's there, that you have to completely scrap it. Or very few people are saying that. I think you can build a decent society on that. Hang on, did I not have the uniquely original? Hang on. Hang on. Because in the slavery bit. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry, I skipped over the right. Many Americans labour under the illusion that slavery was somehow a uniquely American evil. No one's saying that. No one believes that America was unique in having slavery. Obviously, you were unique in the sense that as a major industrialised and industrialising society, you were one of the last to get rid of it, and it took a massive civil war rather than just an act of parliament or the say-so of a king or something. That was uniquely American, but slavery itself wasn't. That's a lie. I skipped over that for some reason, but it's an important point worth making. So no, yeah, you can definitely build a good society on documents that were founded a long time ago. That's fine. They do need adapting, though, as can be seen by the fact that there are dozens and dozens of amendments to the Constitution. If it wasn't the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments or some shit. Like, it needs updating a lot. Again, also the comparing fascism and communism. Again, typical right-wing, typical PragerU type stuff. They can't condemn fascism without also condemning communism. You'll note that. It's a thing. Oh, and obviously sucking Ronald Reagan's cock as well. Surprising stuff, I know. Yes, tying together of identity politics and racism. Because they're the same thing, apparently. Fuck's sake. I really do hate conservatism in some ways. Or more precisely, I hate the kind of lying, and it's mostly American, although it's starting to bleed into British conservatism to a degree. It's the kind of PragerU, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro lying bullshit version of conservatism. It's not just that they're small government or blah blah blah. It's that they have to lie about everything. It's the kind of people like Dinesh D'Souza who say the Nazis were left wing. It's that kind of conservative that I can't fucking abide. And to compare racism and identity politics as if they're the same thing is really despicable. And they released it on Martin Luther King Day. And with quotes from Martin Luther King, and oh god, it's so embarrassing. You get a fair indication of this, right? Of the kind of racism at the core of what this document is. In this particular passage, it says, despite the determined efforts of the post-war Reconstruction Congress to establish civil equality for freed slaves, the post-bellum South ended up devolving into a system that was hardly better than slavery. The system enmeshed freedmen in relationships of extreme dependency and used poll taxes, literacy tests, and violence of vigilante groups like the Ku Klux Klan to prevent them from exercising civil rights. Vigilante groups like the Ku Klux Klan. Vigilante, Ku Klux Klan. Now, I shouldn't need to say to anyone why that's a truly despicable thing, but I'll just try and pass their nonsense. A vigilante is certainly someone that works outside the law, and the KKK did that. But a vigilante fights for justice to some extent, or certainly, some semblance of justice. The KKK tried to intimidate largely black people, but certainly white people and various other religious minorities like Jews and things like that, with violence in order for them for them to not engage in the political life of America, in order for them to, quote, keep their hands off white women, things like that. This is not justice on any fucking level. The idea that you would call the KKK a vigilante group rather than what they were, which was a fucking terrorist group, is despicable. Genuinely evil. The fact that you would release this document on MLK Day and have a picture of Martin Luther King next to that paragraph in which you say the KKK were a vigilante group is fucking reprehensible. It's disgusting. I hate Donald Trump so much, I swear to God. Oh, the task of national renewal. Firstly, does America need to be renewed as such? Certainly from like a Trumpian perspective. Because it's already white supremacist as fuck. I don't know why you would feel the need to have a renewal in that respect. They mean that like some black people have got some power now, and we need to get rid of that. I think is the underlying thing. Again, they do it in such a dog whistly way that it's difficult to nail them down on it. Which is the point, right? That's the point of dog whistles, is that they give themselves plausible deniability. How can you possibly read into it any kind of racism? We just described the KKK as vigilante. We just downplay the role of racism. We downplay slavery and say that, America set the foundations of emancipation. Literally trying to take credit for other countries having gotten to emancipation before America, because America wrote a document that said all men are equal, or all men are created equal. Even though they didn't clearly believe that in actuality. It's interesting stuff. I'm so glad he got rid of it. I mean, he was always going to, really, because this is just a fucking waste of money. It's a waste of time. Which is why I'm doing it on my show, obviously. Oh, I am a silly Billy. Yes, so the task of national renewal, it waffles on for a bit. The first thing, right, the very first priority of the task of national renewal is, can I get a drum roll? The role of the family. Yes, the role of the family. Now, of course they mean this in a very heteronormative sense. Of course they mean it in a nuclear family sense rather than anything extended, which would actually represent modern America in some way. No, they mean that in just the normal kind of fash sense. And I say fash very pointedly here because that's precisely what they're trying to do here. You'll note, whenever a fash prick goes off on some ramble, it's always, to a degree, the role of the family. The meme, what they took from you, blah, blah, blah. It's like a white family. 2 parents, 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever. All white. It's a very, very typical fash talking point. Very typical. And of course, as is the fact that they quote an ancient Roman. Again, you'll know when they do what they took from you. It's like ancient Greek, ancient Roman architecture and stuff like that. And they quote Cicero, who was no doubt a very fine thinker in his own way. But again, just because Cicero said a thing, I don't really care. Justify it to me. And they don't. Also, I like the fact that they talk about the dignity of labour. Considering they oppose even like a minimum wage. One of the dignities of labour is being able to live off your own back. You can't do that in America. You can work very, very hard, but if your family are poor, you're fucked. The same is true to a large extent in Britain. And of course, and they quote Cicero and invoke that kind of classical antiquity thing without remotely understanding it. That's the thing. Donald Trump does not understand classical antiquity to any degree, but he'll happily try and invoke it for his fash supporters. And that's this must be borne in mind. Whenever reading through documents like this, written by people like this, because this is the kind of, it's slightly more well-worded, but it's the kind of screed you can find on 4chan and various other horrific Nazi sites. It's the kind of shit they publish on the Daily Stormer, that sort of thing. Right? They're just trying to sort of prop up... It's difficult to explain. They're just trying to prop up simple-minded idiots' misunderstandings of the world around them, including history. And this document obviously primarily goes on with their misunderstanding of history. Page 19. What does my note say here? Reverence for the laws. Again, iron fist fascist shit, right? The principles of equality and consent mean that... interesting that they would use the word consent when writing on behalf of Donald Trump, but whatever. The principles of equality and consent mean that all are equal before the law. No one is above the law, and no person is... no one is privileged to ignore the law, just as no one is outside of the law in terms of its protection. And then we scroll down a little bit to... whether of the left or of the right, both mob rule and tyrannical rule violate the rule of law because both are rules of the passions rather than the better angels of our nature. Both equally threaten our constitutional order. Interesting that they would equate left and right. Literally less than 2 weeks after the right tried to do mob rule and impose a tyranny via insurrection at the Capitol. Also, Abraham Lincoln's quote about the better angels of our nature is a genuinely beautiful thing. To drag it through the mud into this document, fuck you. Just fuck you. And then we've got... Where are we? What page are we on next? Page 20. Here we go, right, yeah. Conclusion. On the 150th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, President Calvin Coolidge, I've given him that nickname, it's good, raised the immortal banner in his time. Quote, "It is often asserted," he said, "that the world has made a great deal of progress since 1776, and that we may therefore very well discard their conclusions for something more modern. But that reasoning cannot be applied to this great charter. If all men are created equal, that is final. If they are endowed with inalienable rights, that is final. If governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, that is final. No advance, no progress can be made beyond these propositions." Unquote. Now, there's a certain truth to that. I think regardless of what you do in terms of forging a new America, hopefully, I would argue, hopefully a socialist America, the thing about people being created equal is true. The people having inalienable rights is true. That's absolutely correct. But the thing is, Calvin Coolidge was president in the early 20th century. He did not actually enact the idea of all men being created equal from that great charter. He enacted many laws and signed into law many acts during the Jim Crow era. He was one of the people who literally made it so that if you were black, you were a second-class citizen. So the idea that he was like, well, we can't really change things for more modern things because it's perfect as it is the perfect encapsulation of the modern conservative mindset. They literally think that if you just say all men are created equal, but you try and trample on the rights of black people or Hispanic people or women or trans people or whatever, that's fine because you've already said all men are created equal and that's all that matters. I don't give a fuck what a piece of paper actually says. I give a fuck on the ground what things are, how they're actually operated in the real world. Just saying all men are created equal is lovely in one respect. It's also pretty fucked up and hypocritical, to go back to the Founding Fathers thing, to say all men are created equal and then to enact laws that mean that people aren't equal. That's what I mean by saying that just because some fucker from either 250 years ago or from 100 years ago, in the case of Calvin Coolidge, said a thing doesn't really mean anything. Show me now. History is a beautiful thing to study, but in terms of them trying to push some narrative about today, tell me now why it's a thing. Tell me now why I should give two fucks about your rights to own guns or your rights to private property or whatever, right? Don't give me this Calvin Coolidge said, John Kay said, George Washington said, MLK said, Frederick Douglass said, or Donald Trump said. Because I don't fucking care. Argue properly. Or stop. Because this is a fucking lie. It's not a little white lie. It's a massive, massive white lie. And I'm done. I'm glad I got that off my chest. I'm glad I was able to just release a little bit of that. That's good. I genuinely feel slightly better after that. And thank you to everyone who stayed for the rant. I'm much appreciated. You people are lovely. Anyway. What about us YouTube chat non-fuckers? What? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, sorry. I shouldn't read the chat, because then I stop talking, and then it's just dead air. And that's not great. Anyway. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll be back tomorrow with, probably with Christy, but maybe not, I don't know. And we'll maybe get back to some silliness as well. I mean, we'll almost certainly be talking at some point about what Biden's been up to. Yeah. Probably. Almost certainly we'll be talking about what Biden's been up to. Because there's, yeah, I can't multitask. I don't pretend to be able to multitask. Will England lose all their test matches against India? Maybe. We did just beat Sri Lanka, although they're not as good at cricket. I'm not making a value judgment. Anyway, I genuinely would love to do a sports type stuff, but this channel isn't really about that, is it? Anyway, sorry, I'll be back tomorrow. I need to wrap this up. I'll be back tomorrow, probably with Christy, talk about stuff like that. We might look at a video or two and just generally dunk on some motherfuckers. Probably, I imagine. But between now and then, please stay safe and stay beautiful. You are beautiful people. On Twitch, I'm going to kick you over. Who's live now? The Surfs are live now, so you can go and watch them right now. And I will say to you, thank you all for listening and watching. Please go and check out the Clips channel, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Twitch channel and all that shit. And I will say thank you all for listening and watching.